What's up everybody, Jordan from Ginger Snap Disc Golf, and today I want to talk about one of the biggest mistakes that I see people do when they're trying to throw far or if they're trying to throw harder, quicker, whatever else. This is one of the biggest mistakes that I noticed, really taking away people's distance and even smoothness of their form. I want to talk about that, and then I want to talk about the solution, the tip, the thought process, whatever you want to call it, that helped me stop doing this. So I hope it helps y'all. So the problem I want to talk about is the infamous elbow dip. This is something I see a lot of people do, especially when they're really trying to like power up on the disc, throw really far, whatever. In this first video, I'll show you, you can tell I coil and then I really try to power up and I really drastically dip my elbow, and then so I don't throw on the ground, I swoop back up, and it creates this really like nose up air bounce type of throw. I think a lot of people default to this because in our head, a lot of times we think if I just try to like bust the door down with my elbow or whatever the saying is, it's going to create more power. It ends up creating this really like kind of nose up air bouncy flight that works sometimes but never consistently. So the solution that I have for that, the tip, the thought process, whatever you want to call it, is pulling through high. This is the concept that helped me understand and learn how to keep my elbow up throughout the entirety of my pull through. So you'll see in the second video, after I coil, my elbow pops up to level to slightly upward through the entirety of the throw, and then obviously the throw ends up being a whole lot better. And I know you're probably thinking like, Jordan, if I pull through high, doesn't that mean I'm going to throw even more nose up and even higher? And I don't think so. Let's break it down. We're going to go play a couple of different holes as I talk about this, what pulling through high does and doesn't mean. But while I'm walking to the hole, I want to show y'all another video of where I throw this field shot. We've got like a right to left head to cross wind in this video, and I'm not trying to throw crazy fast or powerful. I'm just focused on good mechanics, keeping my elbow up the entirety of the throw. And you can tell that I really get a hold of this disc. It ends up going like over 400 feet. And you can tell from this backwards view that I kept my elbow up the whole time. And you would think by doing that, it might cause a nose up very high throw. But you can tell from that it didn't cause that. It actually was a nose down throw that had a really good flight and a really easy flight at that. So I want to clarify a couple of things about what I mean when I say pull through high. Don't mean is do something that's like a crazy coil really far down and then pull through really far high. Of course, if you do that, that's going to result in a very most likely nose up and then very high air shot. All right, this hole's like 400 feet ish. I'm gonna try to do like a little hyzer flip with the wraith and then a couple of maybe some flex shots and stuff like that. I'm doing this though, I want you to really pay attention to how my elbow stays up. Even from a backwards view, you can tell that my elbow stays up throughout the entirety of the throw, and hopefully you can tell that even while doing this, it's not going to result in a nose up flight. Uh-oh. That might have went under the fence. That one should be better. Uh-oh. That one might have stuck. We'll see. Try a little flex with Cloudbreaker. Oh. Don't hit the wood. Hit the wood. At least one of these were kind of parked. Kind of went pretty far. The flex line Cloudbreaker hit over here. Hit this giant wooden block. I'm not really sure what it's protecting. So the wraith ended up all the way back here on the hyzer flip. The whole reason I even show you this is to show you how proper mechanics, particularly just having your elbow stay up in that upward position the whole time through the power pocket, can result in very far good shot shapes however you want. And so like you can even tell in the flat and anhyzer shots, even if I'm throwing anhyzer, my elbow still stayed up the whole time. And this is another misconception a lot of people have when it comes to, well, if I have my elbow up the whole time, I'm only gonna be able to throw hyzer, and that's not entirely true. Something else that's important to note, the idea of just coiling really low and then pulling through really high, it's not like entirely bad logic, because if you think about it with like a lawnmower or anything like that, when you're trying to crank something, you're gonna be able to generate more power and speed by pulling upward, but it's also probably gonna bring a whole other form of problems. Another thing I don't want y'all to think when I say pull through high is that I'm saying be like coil very high and then like pull the disc right here in front of your face and then launch it through. I'm not saying do that either, because obviously that's not going to generate a lot of power and it's not going to work. You're probably just going to hit yourself in the face. This hole's only 325. So I'm gonna throw some putters and some mids and see what we can do. Really tight OB though. Trash Panda inner core, we're gonna go right at it. Turn. Oh no, that's gonna go. That just went like a sand pit. There's like this tail crosswind that I did not think about, so when I threw that on hyzer, it just went. But anyways, like for real, it's when I say pull through high, I'm not saying anything extreme like coil low and yank it upwards, or coil very high and try to stay parallel. Those things aren't going to work and they're not going to help, and they're just going to create more problems. All right, UFO. That one might do it. Get around. Oh God. The UFO in the MD3 ended up pretty good, actually. That was terrible. This one, as well as the inner core, I just threw on too much hyzer. And so the inner core ended up on this little shed. All right, now let's get into what I actually mean when I say pull through high. I'm gonna break that down. All right, so I do wanna let you know what I am talking about when I say pull through high. What I mean is that after I coil and I've planted and I'm getting ready to pull through, I think to myself, all right, I need to pull this disc through in a way in which it's gonna finish high. Because just like with putting, when throwing a disc, if you don't give the disc some height, it's never gonna have a chance to have a good flight. Like with putting, if you never give it the height, it never stands a chance of going in the basket. And so when I catch myself struggling with this and my elbow dips or I'm starting to release a lot lower on accident, I think after I coil and plant, I'm thinking to myself, I need to pull through high because that's going to keep my elbow up the whole time and also give the disc the proper height it needs to have a good flight. They have a new basket position. It's way over to the right at the bottom of this little valley. I'm guessing it's closer to 450 plus. You can't even really see it from the tee pad. The old position is like 440 or 430 up there to the left. So I'm going to throw probably like 3 shots to try to get to that new position. And then I'm going to throw 2 shots to the old position. But again, while I'm doing this, I want you to notice how I can still give the disc some height, the proper flight formation, different shot shaping, all of that while keeping my elbow high, even when I'm not trying to throw hyzer. Oh, late turn, late turn. It is turning. Oh no, it's going to fade out though. It's kind of smashed. I mean, that was kind of smashed. I just didn't turn it enough. That's definitely not it. Oh, that's 2 turned, isn't it? No? Oh, that one would actually be parked. And by parked, I mean long with the basket on the hill and not even in circle 1. That is such a tough position. Oh boy. That one's bad. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope that tip helps. The thought process of just pulling through high really helped me with my elbow dip. I hope that it helps yours. Let me know in the comments if this ends up helping you or if you have any other kind of tips or advice. And then I'm gonna throw up a couple more videos of just some field work throws I did to end out the video, where you can tell I'm not trying to throw with a crazy amount of power or anything like that. I'm just trying to be mechanically smooth, well timed, and all of those things. Keep my elbow up, and I was able to launch some discs pretty far. I mean, all of those just went pretty far too, but it's a little bit downhill, so I don't know if it fully counts. Either way, love y'all, stay snappy. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm about to release a whole lot of just drill work and concepts for distance in the future. Peace.